procedures as well. So what do I have? This is the unit circle. And I'll just call it journal. Okay, so I'll say done, hit my X mark, then select this little squiggly line on the right-hand side, choose a pencil. But before I even do that, I'm going to, what should I do here? I'll just bring the pictures in that I have. So I have this one as my first picture, say done. And then I'll bring another picture in here. This is my second picture, and then just say done. So let me close both of these down and let me create a new page altogether. So this is the idea. We're going to discuss some math real quick that we're going to use in Microsoft Excel. Okay. And the math that we're going to need is the following. Now, this is great for the origin and scale, and I'm just going to slide over here. The math that we're going to need are the following. We need to know the X and Y values. So if I take this and let's just say that this is the origin right here, and I select one of these points like so, this, we're going to give that this vector a label of R. Okay, and this vector is going to be labeled Y. It's moving in the positive direction. And then we have another vector down here at the bottom. It's going to be labeled X. It's along the horizontal axis. Okay, so we also have an angle here that we can define and describe and all of that other good stuff. But with video physics and with a ruler, as you can see those two rulers there, if I measure over from this ruler, you'll see that that is about 20 centimeters. And then if you look down here, you'll see that from the origin, that's about another 20 centimeters here. Okay, so that's how we measure. And let me see. So the theory. Right now we have X and Y coordinates, and those are rectangular. So we have rectangular coordinates, and then we have polar coordinates, and that's our R and our theta. We want to be able to deal with both of those by just knowing the X and the Y. So I'm going to go ahead and say, if we know X and Y, then we can find R using a theorem known as Pythagorean's theorem. And Pythagorean's theorem looks like this, okay? And we're going to define how we're going to find our angle based on these things. We have the sine of our angle, and that's just Y over R. And then we have the cosine of the angle, and that is X over R. And then we have tangent of the angle, and that's going to be Y over X. Okay, so we're going to use this theory in our analysis. Okay, so it's pretty much guiding us. So when I say we're going to use this theory, we're also going to use the following formula. If we want to know the angle, then all we have to do is just to do the arctan A tan of Y over X. So this gives us our angle, and we're going to ultimately find this angle in degrees. Okay. All right, that's pretty much the theory. So let's do it. We already have our data points here. Let's go ahead and take these data points over to Microsoft Excel. And even before I do that, I just want to make sure that I export my journal. So I can share my journal, and I can always share it again and again and again. But I'm going to share my journal with, or in that folder I was working on. Unit circle, trigonometry 1, and I'll just choose that folder and just save that journal right there. That way you're keeping a record of what you understand, what you know, and all of that other good stuff.